Good evening and welcome to a brand new edition of our daily news program broadcast to you here on Canal Algérie. To the main headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives Zwelivel Mandela, the grandson of the late South African leader Nelson Mandela. Following the devastating earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria, the President of the Republic sends condolences messages to the two countries' heads of state. Algeria dispatches a rescue crew belonging to the National Civil Defense to Turkey and sets up a crisis unit to closely follow the latest developments. We start off our news with the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, who received Zwelivel Mandela, the grandson of the late South African leader Nelson Mandela. The audience took place in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Abdelaziz Khalaf. The grandson Mandela put forward the excellent bilateral relations existing between Algeria and South Africa. Let's have a listen.
It is an honor and a privilege for us as the Mandela family to be here visiting His Excellency, the President Tebboune. For us, he's such an inspiration, not only to Algeria, but to us as South Africans. You know, we regard Algeria as a land of revolutionaries and a land of martyrs. And he is a true testament of that. And in our engagement this morning, he's been able to speak to us as a son and daughter of Algeria about the challenges that Algeria has and how we as South Africa and Algeria can work closely together in building closer cooperation.
Zwelivel Mandela then hailed the dynamism and energy distinguishing the Algerian youth.
What was truly inspiring is to see where his heart is in the youth of Algeria, in the young people, their own development and ensuring, because there are a majority of citizens in Algeria, how do we develop the young minds to be active citizens, to be able to fully participate in this democratic dispensation? And we live today a very happy family to have been able to visit our second home, and I think we will be ensuring that we visit more and more into Algeria. But we also want to look at how we better utilize the space between Algeria and South Africa. And I think in looking at opportunities for Air Algeria to have a direct flight into South Africa to Johannesburg would be one of our starting points, because then it will allow Algerians to be able to get into South Africa, but also South Africans to come and enjoy the beautiful landscape of Algeria. We were privileged to visit Tipaza and found a very beautiful area. And we believe that many South Africans would like to visit Algeria and explore the beauty of this country. And therefore, we will continuously be looking as to how we are able to promote close cooperation between our two beloved countries. And we are really honored to have been here during this period in Algeria. Thank you.
In another development, and following the devastating earthquake which hit Turkey and Syria, the President of the Republic sent a message of condolences to his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in which he expressed his sincere condolences to the victims' families. It is with deep sorrow that we received the news of the devastating earthquake which hit the which caused the death and injury of thousands of victims, both dead and injured people and others still stuck under the rubble, in addition to significant material damage. And in light of this human disaster which hit the people of Turkey, I present on behalf of the Algerian people and government the most sincere condolences to the President and the people of the Republic of Turkey, and my profound feelings of compassion to the families of the victims in this painful ordeal. And I ask Allah Almighty to help you overcome these painful circumstances and welcome the victims to His vast paradise, while wishing a speedy recovery to those injured. The President of the Republic then added, I would also like to express Algeria's full support to the Turkish people during these difficult times, as well as our availability to contribute to any effort likely to mitigate the impact of this painful tragedy, all while reiterating my deepest condolences and my sincere solidarity. I assure to you, Mr. President, and dear brother, of my deepest sympathy, concluded the President of the Republic. And another message of condolences was sent by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, which read the following: It is with deep sorrow that we received the news of the devastating earthquake that hit the brotherly Syria and caused the death and injury of thousands of victims and a significant material damage. In light of this human disaster which hit the Syrian people, I present on my behalf and on behalf of the Algerian people and government the most sincere condolences to you and the brotherly Syrian people, and my profound feelings of compassion to the families of the victims in this painful ordeal. And I ask Allah Almighty to welcome the victims to His vast paradise, while wishing a speedy recovery to those injured. The President of the Republic then added, I would also like to express Algeria's full support to the Syrian people during these difficult times, as well as our availability to contribute to any efforts likely to mitigate the impact of this painful tragedy, while reiterating my deepest condolences and my sincere solidarity. I assure to you, Mr. President and dear brother, of my deepest sympathy, concluded the President of the Republic. Two violent earthquakes hit the south of Turkey and Syria with a magnitude of 7.8 and 7.5 on the Richter scale. Thousands have been reported dead, a toll that is likely to increase with the search and rescue operations underway. More details with Melissa Kobash.
Both Turkey and Syria have been hit by a powerful earthquake that reached 7.8 on the Richter scale, followed by a strong tremor of 7.5, causing tremendous losses. Thousands of buildings fell down to the ground, claiming more than 2,300 lives and more than 10,000 injured people, according to a provisional toll that might increase. It should be noted that Turkey is a country with a high seismic risk. In 1999, an earthquake was recorded and caused the death of 17,000 people. The Syrian provinces Aleppo, Latakia, Hama and Taris were also affected by this violent earthquake. According to a provisional report released by the Health Ministry, nearly 500 deaths were recorded. Thousands of families are still under the rubble in numerous provinces, while help is slowly on its way due to the hard climate. An international call for help has been issued by the Syrian government. Aid from the international community is on the course towards both countries. Several nations, including Algeria, Greece, Russia and Egypt, have confirmed sending help to Turkey and Syria, while the European Union activated a civil defense mechanism.
Pursuant to the instructions of the President of the Republic, the Interior Minister supervised the dispatching of the first civil defense team to Turkey so as to actively participate in the ongoing rescue operations. Melissa Kobash once again.
No less than 89 agents and doctors belonging to the civil defense were dispatched to Turkey to take part in the ongoing rescue operations. It was from the Civil Defense National Unit of Training that the Interior Minister Brahim Merad recalled the traditions deeply rooted in the Algerian state in terms of international solidarity, including the fight against natural disasters.
بإعاز من السيد رئيس الجمهورية وبإشراف من السيد الوزير الأول
I'm here in accordance to the President of the Republic's instructions and under the supervision of the Prime Minister, so as to supervise the departure of the civil defense elements who for their part are proving their professionalism and capacity in facing these situations. Under the supervision of their General Director, it took them a few hours to prepare their equipment and necessary materials to bring support and help to the Turkish and Syrian brothers and sisters. Today, it's the first team with 89 elements, and maybe another one will take off to Syria tomorrow. Algeria remains faithful to its values of solidarity and its commitments towards brotherly countries. The President of the Republic is following the situation closely.
والسيد رئيس الجمهورية يتابع العملية هذه بصفة دؤوبة.
الجولة الأولى ستتجه إلى تركيا.
The first team headed to Turkey and it is equipped with all the necessary means up to the international standards to face major disasters, while the second team will be going to Syria to bring support in the rescue operations.
من أجل تقديم الدعم في مجال التدخلات وإدارة الكوارث.
The team includes 5 doctors specialized in emergency medicine, as well as psychiatrists, nurses and veterinarians. The main mission is to work with the search and rescue team and identify the victims.
The civil defense team set off from the military air base in Bufarik, responding to the call of duty with full courage and commitment to bring support to those in need.
According to the latest news, another group belonging to the civil defense has been dispatched to Syria to take part in the rescue operations in addition to humanitarian aid to the victimized people, and thus in line with the guidelines of the President of the Republic. For the time being, no Algerian victims have been reported dead in Turkey and Syria, according to the Foreign Affairs Minister. The latter has set up a crisis unit to closely follow the situation in coordination with the Algerian diplomatic representations. Story by Najah Tayar.
It is nearly 5 p.m. at call center. About 30 calls were recorded since the first hours of the crisis unit setting up at the heart of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the national community abroad. We are on alert since this morning following the Algerian community's situation in Turkey and Syria. We have not received any calls concerning Algerian victims yet. We have received news concerning Algerian nationals' houses in Syria that have been damaged by this earthquake, but with no human losses. And to reassure the Algerian families, a permanent follow-up is guaranteed by the 3 diplomatic representations in the countries concerned by this natural disaster. Both embassies and the Consulate General have put in place crisis and follow-up units. We also have crisis units at the central level that records the activities of these 3 units. The families also can contact the Foreign Affairs Ministry through this crisis units or one of the other units established at the embassies or the Consulate General. I recall on the President of the Republic's decision of deploying a civil defense team composed of 89 elements of different specialities to Turkey. With 7,000 Algerian inhabitants in Ankara and Istanbul and 1,500 Algerian residents in Syria, in addition to Algerian passengers in both countries, these crisis units put in place and the Algerian civil defense team sent to Turkey will spare no effort to comply their duty perfectly.
And for its part, the Foreign Affairs Ministry called on the Algerian nationals established in the countries affected by the recent massive earthquake to follow the different security measures set up by the country of their residency and to keep in touch with the Algerian consulates in Ankara and Damascus. The toll-free numbers are available, as you can see on the screen. Moving on to cooperation, the Minister of Interior, Brahim Murad, received on Monday his Palestinian counterpart, Ziad Mahmoud Mohammed. The 2 parties discussed several issues of common interest, topping the list the Palestinian cause. In another topic, the Major General Mohammed Saleh bin Bisha, Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense, received on Monday at the headquarters of the ministry the Korean ambassador to Algeria, Kim Chang-mo, at the head of a high-level delegation. On this occasion, the two parties held bilateral discussions on the different fields of common interest in the presence of the Major General, the Director of External Relations and Cooperation at the Ministry of National Defense, as well as members of the accompanying delegation. And later on, the two parties exchanged symbolic gifts. In other news, and on the occasion of the 60th anniversary marking the death of Abdel Karim al-Khattabi and the establishment of the Reef Republic, the National Institute for Studies and Global Strategy held a conference on the Maghrebian scope in the ideology of this leader. And we wrap up our today's edition with the flagrant corruption at the European Parliament, in which the Makhzen regime is heavily involved, confirmed once again through photos of Lahsen Haddad, the president of the Moroccan European Union Parliamentary Commission, with Panzeri and Cozzolino. They came forward to deny these accusations. Andrea Cozzolino is accused of receiving bribes, while Antonio Panzeri, former EU MP, is proven to be a central actor in this corruption scandal, and for which he is in custody. The Belgian investigators seized 1.5 million euros in cash in several properties of this latter. And with that, we come to the end of our today's news program. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.